Welcome back to another edition of the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid. So jumping right into a BDS Analytics report for trending in 2019, top 10 things, starting with declining prices. The prices for most cannabis products keep inching down for a variety of reasons. One of them, price remains the number one driver for consumer price product choices. I've seen that in every single store I go to. A lot of these bud tenders, the number one thing they're asked is what's the cheapest flour or oil, the highest THC content. So if you're going to filter anything, it's going to be price relative to THC ratios. The report goes on to say that the average price for Oregon flower has declined from $9 a gram in January 2016 to a little over $4 a gram November 2018. That's retail. Wholesale prices are as low as 8 cents a gram for B-grade bud. So prices are definitely hitting the floor. We're seeing that, and it's all categories: flower and concentrate, edibles, topicals. They've all declined in Colorado, although none of the drops compare to flower. Concentrates, for example, fell a mere 20% between the same time frame. So the price dip scenario was reversed in California, as we see in all new markets. So that's same thing with Nevada. But edible prices averaged $14 in March of 2017 and then rose to $20 in November of 18. So the proverbial supply and demand pricing dynamics kicked in. But it's also just a matter of new states and countries. I mean, look at Canada. They're all balking at the lack of supply there. So all standard stuff. Number 9. A refocus on the core. Even with the influx of so many new and exciting customers flooding the market, companies, including brands and retailers, that place a reinvigorating focus on their core customers will flourish. So understanding who your core customers are is key, and that most certainly includes discerning customers. Those cannabis enthusiasts who have experimented with the industry's manifold products and who understand at least some basics about cannabis science. While mainstream customers will continue to grow, successful companies must still focus their marketing, merchandising, and/or product development efforts on their core. Collectively, this group often guides trends. What the discerning customer likes today, the mass market might embrace in 6 months. So discerning customers are influencers, early adopters, and lead indicators. They spend more on quality, keep up with technology, care that products are locally grown or manufactured, and prefer local, natural, organic, and socially interested brands. They care about things like processing methods, terpenes, additional cannabinoids, growing methods, and packaging. And I'll say that the 1-to-1 CBD to THC ratio is going to be the next big thing. I kind of feel like that's the new blue dream, if you will, so I'm on record. Growth in consistent, low-dose, dialed-in products, which before I even go into it is completely opposite of focus to the core. Discerning customers are going to be people who can handle 100 milligrams, not 10 milligrams, although I do like to have low dose vape. So that microdosing is going to be key. It's a completely different segment. So let me get into this. There's plenty of people that just wing it when enjoying cannabis, but increasingly more cannabis consumers care deeply about consistent dosing and being able to carefully control the nature of their experience. 33% of edible consumers prefer low-dose products, defined as products containing less than 10 milligrams of THC per serving. 40% of edibles consumers have chosen high CBD products, and of these, about a third prefer that there's low THC and high CBD ratios. Among consumers, a third say merchandisers need to do a better job, manufacturers need to do a better job with crafting consistent doses. And 41% they say they wish more products were labeled with the desired manufactured effect, such as relaxation or energy. So consistency is still an issue, I guess, more so to the standpoint of what is it going to do to me. And there's a lot of people who won't jump into cannabis because there isn't that set of expectation yet. So, and that's consistently knowing what to expect. Number 7, convenience is key. Elaborate dab rigs, complete with large glass vessels, nails, and blowtorches are fan favorites for some, but current trends suggest that popularity is capped. The reason? Convenience is winning the day in the cannabis marketplace. The masses crave convenience when buying as well as consuming. The triumph of convenience is especially true among people who are new to the cannabis industry altogether. Location is convenient. It's a top consideration for when consumers shop. 67% of dispensary shoppers are identified as buyers. Half of cannabis consumers say they're largely influenced by convenience in the consumption form when choosing a product, qualifying as a top 5 decision. Number 6, brands further solidify. The days of bulk bud and plastic vials are fully dominating the cannabis marketplace are over, and every other category outside of flower, edibles, concentrates, and topical brands far and away lead sales. Brands are building loyalty fan bases and product quality products that deliver on promising physio and psycho effects that are excelling. In Colorado, branded products make up 96% of the edibles market. Brands are building upon their gains. During the first quarter of 2015 in Colorado, the leading edible brand captured 12% of sales, with competitors close behind. But by the third quarter of 2018, the leading brand captured 23% of sales, and competitors drifted further behind. The battle of the brands is fierce in Colorado among concentrate companies. During the third quarter of 2015, the top 5 brands controlled 61% of sales, but by the end of the third quarter of 2018, sales among the top 5 accounted for only 35%. Others are coming on strong, and brand awareness of fighter brands increase. Said in the past that brands don't matter, sales do. I believe that 2019 is the year of brands. Right now, there's going to be too much consolidation and capitulation of companies where branding is going to be big. So you're going to have to obviously make sales, but you're going to need to have a brand exposure in order to survive. There's going to be too much when the economy tips. If you don't have the margins, you're not going to succeed. You're not going to be around. So you're going to have the sales. You have to have the branding. You have to have the cash flow. Otherwise, you're going to be out. CBD, CBD, CBD. The cannabis universe extends beyond dispensary doors, thanks to mounting interest in the cannabinoids like CBD, which are compounds found in cannabis as well as its sister plant, hemp. Unlike THC, which is also a cannabinoid, cannabis is not psychoactive, and CBD products for sale on grocery store shelves are derived from hemp rather than cannabis. Products containing CBD are increasingly popular across the country, popping up in new packaged good categories, or at least being discussed as possible additives almost on a weekly basis. Most cannabis products are inhaled through smoking or vaping, but with CBD, leading delivery vehicles are ingestibles, edibles, with 53% of sales, and topicals are 24%. Consumer education is paramount. In the United States, 69% of people say either there's no difference between the effects of CBD and THC or they don't know the answer. There's a lot of CBD companies popping up with the approval of the Farm Bill, but without enough sufficient capital, these companies aren't going to survive. They're going to need more than just branding and sales techniques. They're going to need a team of successful people behind them, and it's just going to be a lot of wasted money, in my opinion. They're not going to survive. Rec or med doesn't matter anymore. Where both markets coexist, medical dispensaries are generally on the decline, where adult use shops are booming. So people aren't using cannabis for medical reasons anymore, right? No. The decline of medical dispensaries has nothing to do with the reasons people consume cannabis. Instead, it has more to do with business models. As more our varied products become available, along with an increase in education and further destigmatization of cannabis consumption, an even larger percentage of consumers will imbibe in both fun and for medical purposes. Fewer people, in other words, will be self-identified solely as patients and desire medical-only shops, otherwise known as the rationalization convergence of the rec-med cannabis consumer. So almost 2/3 of the people in the U.S. already believe that marijuana has medicinal benefits. And in states that already offer adult use of medical sales, 88% endorse cannabis for medical purposes. Relatively few consumers use cannabis for single purposes, even among people who use cannabis for pain management. And almost 3/4 agree that they enjoy medical for recreation and social reasons. Medical markets continue to thrive in the absence of adult use markets. Arizona, for example, expanded from 22 million in 2017 to 56 million in 2018. It matters a lot. If you don't have medical cannabis and you have states like Washington that don't test for pesticides, if you have stage 4 cancer, you have no option except black market. There's really no difference in Washington state between medical and rec. And that's a huge problem for people who have immune issues and can't handle the pesticides and the heavy metal content. Who knows what else is in it? So it really does matter. It's important. The aging consumer, number 3, we no longer associate cannabis with use, which is not a mischaracterization. People in their 20s indeed do stand tall as active marijuana consumers, but so do older generations, including baby boomers, an important and growing segment. These baby boomers do not fit neatly in the box. 67% of boomers do not consume cannabis for health and medical reasons. Boomers are much more likely to identify pains, aches, and other medical problems as reasons for consuming. But nearly 60% also point towards unwinding and having a good time as reasons for consuming. Number 2 is the rise of beverages. Cheers to a sippable cannabis. With the rise of cannabis beverages markets, options abound. You have cold bottles of kombucha, tea bags, packaged shots of coffee, water-soluble powder mixes. The cannabis beverage marketplace now is in full from cannabis beer too, although pot-infused drinks like ales and chardonnays are alcohol-free. One especially fresh trend is the rise of CBD beverages, which can be sold outside of dispensaries. There are countless ways to consume cannabis, arguably none easier or more socially acceptable than simply sipping. So through November of 2018, beverages made up 5% of the annual U.S. edibles market with sales of $30 million, which I think is incredibly low. However, by 2022, the U.S. edibles market is projected to reach $3.4 billion and expand roughly tenfold to $374 million. So it's low. Cannabis beverage and sales grow. Some product categories within the edibles market will see their percentage of total edibles sales negatively impacted. Coffee isn't even a thing yet in a lot of these states. Like Twist, ready to go, drinkable coffee. Washington doesn't have any. So it will definitely lead into the rest of those edibles. And the number 1 trend, according to BDS Analytics for 2019, is the emergence of social consumption. We anticipate the emergence of legal cannabis social clubs in some markets in 2019. Research shows that a large population of cannabis fans will leap at the chance to imbibe at venues earmarked for legal cannabis consumption. Cannabis progressives like Las Vegas, San Francisco, and Denver will likely be the first to set up fostering cannabis experiences the rest of the country will observe and with immense interest. Almost 2/3 of cannabis consumers say they will engage with the plant for social and or recreational purposes. About 1/3 specifically consume prior to meeting with others. 41% savor cannabis for date nights as well as daytime fun. And with that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge, and I'm out.